Got it.
Okay. All right. Hello, APNPI members. Welcome. My name is Jessica Nip, and I'm the host for today's Photographer of the Year interview. And our Photographer of the Year is Trayc Dudgeon. Hi, Trayc.
Hi.
And she's coming to us all the way from Halton Hills, Ontario. So she's a fellow Ontario photographer. And I'll just tell you a little bit about her. Trayc is the owner and photography of Blue Rooster Studio in Ontario, where she photographs, I think, pretty much everything other than products, I think, right?
I do products.
Oh, you do products.
I do. Yeah. I actually have a separate Instagram. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she does the maternity and newborn and families. She does weddings as well as corporate work and products. And she is also an APNPI mentor. She's accredited with APNPI in several categories, including newborn posed, maternity sitter, and the macro categories. And she's also an accredited award-winning photographer with the Professional Photographers of Canada. Congrats on all of those distinctions. Yeah. So Trayc has won Photographer of the Year, and let me just explain what she had to do to really get to this achievement. And to win the Photographer of the Year award, the photographer should have achieved a minimum of 3 merit images among the 2 rounds of image competition, and achieved a minimum of 1 accreditation in any category, which she has, and have the highest average score among their top 3 winning images in any category. So she's been very busy, or she was last year. Yeah. Very, very busy. And I'll just, before we go through her images, I'll just say hello after that whole introduction. Hello, how are you today?
It's weird to hear like all that about yourself. You're like, oh, I did that? Oh, crap.
Yes, you did.
Thanks.
So I'm just going to run through quickly her images here. And then we have some questions for Trayc, which we will get her to speak to. And I'm just going to share my screen. So here are her award-winning images. So this would be her first place winner and another one. And we do have in the next one a little typo here, which hopefully will get revised. Sunset Soar should be the correct title. And this one. So I'm going to go back to Trayc and we'll start with our questions. So Trayc, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. I have been a photographer now for 24 years. So if you do the math, I'm not in my 20s anymore. So yeah. I did study on film. I went to Humber College in Ontario, which was super fun. And I worked on those absolutely giant cameras that have like the accordion in the middle, and then you have to go underneath the blanket. So that's what actual, like when I worked in a commercial photography studio and I was the assistant, that's what we were like going under and checking the image, and the image would be upside down and flipped. So you saw it the wrong way. And it was really cool. And running back and forth to film labs. So I'm like old school, like when I can teach a history class now on all those old camera styles. And I still have my camera, like it's in my basement, like it's about that big.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about 25 pounds, maybe 30.
Oh my gosh. Is it still functional?
Yeah,
like
I have a Polaroid back for it, and I still have Polaroid film for it, but they don't make that anymore. So it's like, I kind of got, I don't know. It's like, do I use it? Do I remember how to use it? But it was really fun to learn on those and to see the progression go from film all the way to where we are now in digital.
I feel like you need to post a photo of yourself with that camera somewhere.
Oh my God. I actually still have all of my work from like that, like when I was in college. I still have all of my work. So maybe I could one day do a little like, this is what it looked like, and this is what we had to do. And, you know, you would take, and with those cameras too, like you got like, well, you took one image and you could, depending on how many you had to have these little film backs that went inside them.
Mm-hmm.
So the more film backs you had, the more you could take, but each piece of film cost you about $3.50.
Mm-hmm.
And like first, like that was expensive. So you were like,
still is. Mm-hmm.
So you would take like one, maybe two images,
Mm-hmm.
then you would go to the lab and you would have to be locked in this little closet, and you would take everyone else's. You're like, I'll get locked in, guys, as long as someone sits outside and talks to me, because you're locked in there for 35 to 40 minutes because you can't open the door until all the film is completely through. And then you would look at it and go, damn it, it's underexposed. And you do it all over again, and you would waste another hour to get one exposure. So there was a lot of downtime back then, just sitting around waiting to get that. But it was good because then you get really used to perfect exposure now, even though we have digital and you can change it later. No, get it right in camera.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, so let's just rewind, go back to what we were talking about. I can get really off trail really fast.
No, that's very interesting. I look forward to seeing the picture of that camera, or you with the camera, a self-portrait or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So back to the competition. What is your process? So we saw all those beautiful images. What's your process when you're selecting images for competition? Do you have a process?
Sometimes, and I would say most of the time with the images that you saw, except for the one that was obviously created. When I take the photo, I know in the back of my head, I was like, that's the one. That's the one I'm going to work on. That's the one I'm going to submit. Everything just lined up perfectly in the camera, the light quality, just the whole composition. So typically I know ahead of time, I'm going to throw that in a folder and save it for when competition time is coming up, which it is right now, people. I don't know. Today I got 4 more days, I think.
Yes, next Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah. So I will be working on my images to submit in the next couple of days. So I do have my folder of images that I've taken over the last few weeks or even last few months that I've gone, okay, I love these images. And when I took them, I knew that they were going to be the ones I wanted to work on.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that you say there's one that's obviously created. So I'm going to go back to share my screen, and then maybe we'll go through the images together, and then you can maybe talk us through why you picked it, or if it's one of your top favorite of the winning ones.
Actually, you don't even have my top favorite there, I don't think.
Oh, we don't? Okay.
It's the same. I won both first and second place, and that's probably why. Or maybe it wasn't that year.
I don't know. Well, if you, you're not, I know you're not on your own computer right now, so you probably can't screen share. So we'll have to find that and post it on your page.
I'll check it here and see.
So these are the images from, so APNPI has a page that will summarize these images, and these are the ones that are on the page. So I'm not sure, I guess we're missing one or two, but let's go through this one. So this one was the first place winner for newborn. And so this one was not created. This one was a client?
Yes.
Okay.
He was so cute. With this image particularly, I was just literally laying him down. I do love this pose. I try to get that pose. I look like a bunny a lot. Clearly you can't do this with adults anymore. And it's such a simple, beautiful image, but it can actually be quite difficult because babies don't lie like that a lot. They want to bring their hands down or they're tucked in, and just getting that softness and those perfect little fingers and just getting that that image the way it is that I see it was just so simple and beautiful. And I absolutely loved how it turned out. All the tones were just so creamy and delicious. So
yes, beautiful.
I as soon as I took that, I thought, oh yes, this is the one. All
right. It went straight to that image comp folder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Oh my gosh.
I love these twins I don't think I've had a better set of twins in my entire life. This was absolutely the most gorgeous set. They were so good. And I always work with somebody on with that whenever I have twins. Randall Martin, who is also a APNPI member. We don't live far from each other, so we are like teamed up whenever we have newborns. So he was a part of this as well. So he was my assistant on this one, And this was one of these moments where we thought, let's put them in something, but like we wanted it to be nice and tight, nothing overly too big where there's swimming inside of it. And when I pulled out this basket and we put the little greenery around it, oh, everything just came together so perfectly with this. And typically with twins, you either have one awake and one sleeping, but these two are just a dream. And clearly you can see how perfect they were. They were just like, yeah, do what you want with us. I think from that session alone, I probably could have submitted like 6 or 7 images that they had together. But I wanted something slightly different. I know we've seen a lot of the newborn hugging together, like the twins hugging together. Of course, we got that, one twin on top of the other. They did every pose perfectly. But this one just stood out to me with the tones and the symmetry, really. And so I thought this was such a great image. Funny enough, this was recommended when I was getting my accreditation for a newborn, and you have to have one twin image in that collection. I chose this one. And when I was being judged by the panels, they all agreed this should be submitted for competition. It was a really strong image. And of course, I listened to that feedback, and sure enough.
There you are.
Yeah.
Congrats. It's absolutely beautiful.
Love it.
And here's the next one. Okay. So is this the created one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're not on a street here. We could be.
Really? Okay. And he's not levitating.
No. But he is actually in a box. Like I made that box. And he's actually sitting in it, and he had a great time playing around in this. He thought it was really fun. So I did a model call and was able to get a lot of the pieces, like the bomber jacket, which is just perfect for this, clearly. And yep. So, and then the image was placed together with a street view that I actually have not far from me because I live in the country.
It's beautiful. And I love the Canadian maple leaf there. Was that part of the bomber jacket, or was
was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Always have a pilot friend. This is what I'm telling you. Have friends in all of the industries so you can just take things from them. And you're like, I need a bomber jacket for a child. They're like, I have one.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. And then this little guy.
I love this little guy. He's just the cutest. He was full of smiles, and that's just a typical gorgeous little moment that you have with sitters. And sitter sessions, they don't typically sit. I don't know about when you have them. I don't know if we call them sitter sessions, because they're usually typically on the move, which he liked to bum shuffle around. So he's got the feet off to the side. And that's very typical of a lot of sitter age children, where they don't actually crawl correctly and they can shuffle. And mom and dad obviously love that because that's who he was at that time. He was a shuffler. And to me, this is a fun image too.
So fun. Yes. And yeah, I'm sure you immediately thought to yourself, like, ooh, this one could be a contender as well.
Yep, absolutely.
So those are the images that we have. And what does achieving this Photographer of the Year accomplishment mean to you?
Now, if you see my eyes go that way, it's because I wrote my answers down.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm not looking at y'all. It's just because I didn't memorize it. Well, first and foremost, it's just validation. Working hard and getting to that point was, absolutely fantastic. I'm very competitive, so that was really fun for me to actually get, and I worked really hard to get it. So being recognized by the industry is something I really appreciate, and of course, it's going to increase exposure, and it's going to get me into different areas where I'm going to be recognized a little more for what I've done.
And do you think you're going to? I know you mentioned it previously. Are you entering this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh,
okay. And are you entering any?
Harder.
Yeah. Are you entering any created ones, or mostly client work, or unsure yet?
Well, I got 6 days left. maybe something creative. It actually is very hard. I do have, I am going to be entering the max amount. I think it's 5, because why not? And I do think that APNPI did offer, I think you get a free entry for everybody. So take advantage of that. If you're not entering, use that. See what happens. Take the feedback and roll with it. So I will be entering all 5. And I do have a lot of more child work this one coming up.
Well, we look forward to seeing it all. Well, thank you again. And to everyone watching, congrats to Tracy for her Photographer of the Year accomplishment. And we look forward to seeing more from her coming this year in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay. Say goodbye for now.
Bye for now.